Sit down. So word has come down from on high that for an unspecified number of missions, we are to serve another master. Christians in action. The CIA.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
We're taking orders from the CIA?
Yeah, you damn straight, Christie.
The CIA takes orders from the administration, and since we've sworn an oath to obey that same administration, and as much as it pains me to take orders from a fucking clerk, yeah, we take orders from the CIA.
This is kind of kabuki drone theater here, because the reality is that even in their drone strikes that are supposedly done with precision and every precaution is taken not to kill civilians, the reality is that they've created a mathematical process for churning out the number of civilians killed in drone strikes that will always result in zero. Because if they kill a so-called jackpot, the target that they're aiming for, and they kill other unknown individuals, the system that the Obama administration, the U.S. military, and the CIA have developed is that anyone who is an EKIA, enemy killed in action, is someone who we don't have proof that they're innocent. You know, in other words, it's sort of a reversal of the idea that you're innocent until proven guilty. If you are near someone that the U.S. was intending to kill, the presumption is that you are an EKIA, you're an enemy killed in action, unless someone can prove that you weren't. And I mean, most of these drone strikes we don't know anything about. So in a way, the fact that they're saying this, it has actually very little meaning, except that they're going to have even less regard for civilian lives than they already do through their kabuki theater.
America is safer.
What I want you to prepare yourselves for is the folks in Virginia operate under a different set of ROEs. They've progressed from what they like to call a personality strike, where we know for sure our target is a fucking bad guy. Now they come up with something they call a signature strike. And what that fucking means is it's a hit based not on a suspicion of guilt, but on a pattern of behavior. So you may be called upon to fire at any dumb schleb in Waziristan who's carrying an AK-47, even though we all know that everyone and their mother in Waziristan carries an AK-47.
What about their right to bear arms?
I never heard so much nonsense in my life. Do you mean to tell me this whole damn war was an accident? No. It wasn't an accident. I didn't say that. It was carefully planned, down to the tiniest mechanical and emotional detail. But it was a mistake. It was a beaut. In the end, somehow granted the time for examination, we shall find that our so-called civilization was gloriously destroyed by a handful of vacuum tubes and transistors. Probably 40. Ah, there you are, Julian, there you are. Now we know where the blame lies, don't we? Oh, no, you don't. No. Maybe we were the blind mechanics of disaster, but you don't pin the guilt on the scientists that easily. You might as well pin it on motherhood. Well, it should be pinned on somebody. And you scientists are the likely ones as far as I can see. You built the bomb. You experimented with it, tested it, and exploded it. Now, just a moment more. Thanks to you chaps, a moment is about all we have. Every man who ever worked on this thing told you what would happen. The scientists signed petition after petition. Please, but nobody listened. There was a choice. It was build the bombs and use them, or risk the United States, the Soviet Union, and the rest of us would find some way to go on living. Huh. That's wishful thinking if ever I heard it.
Own show with these guys. I mean, the fact is that Leon Panetta was the director of the Central Intelligence Agency and had enormous influence at that point. The fact that the Obama administration adopted what was effectively the U.S. policy in Iraq when Bush left office says a tremendous amount about how little the Obama administration understood the disaster in Iraq. Had the United States kept in this sort of strike force, which would have been CIA paramilitaries, special operations forces, it would have exacerbated the problem. The problem here isn't whether or not the U.S. forces would have been there to stabilize Iraq. The issue is how much worse are we going to make Iraq with these policies? And I think it's almost impossible to imagine that this could have been handled in a worse way. Having more troops there, I mean, that's all of these guys, when they write their memoirs, have this brilliant 2020 vision looking backwards, that they were the one that knew, they would have done this differently. The U.S. basically, since 9/11, and you could make an argument that this has been U.S. policy for many, many decades, U.S. policy has been its own worst enemy in one sense. We've created the very threats we claim to be fighting. But on the other hand, if you actually look at who benefits from this war, beyond entities like ISIS, because they do benefit from this. Every time we kill civilians in drone strikes, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula becomes stronger in the sense that they have a greater propaganda movement that they can roll out. The war industry. Lockheed Martin is making a killing off of the killing. Every Tomahawk cruise missile that's launched. The next generation of drone aircraft is going to be coming out. They're working on jet-propelled drones that are going to be able to stay in the air for a very long time. The war industry is in its twilight right now under Mr. Transformative Presidency Barack Obama. His administration has been an incredibly great friend to the war industry. And outside of some small groups of loony bins that are in Syria and Iraq, the war industry is the greatest beneficiary of this policy.
This is a courtesy call. Your next installment of Process Art. Hello, Colonel. This is a courtesy call. Your next installment of Process Art was due for upload in an hour. Hello, Colonel.
Are you on antidepressants? Have you tried them? You should try herbs. I'm happy with the herbs. Way happy? They should put them in the drinking water? Like fluoride? Are you here alone?
We're generally everywhere alone.
I love mystery. Turns me on. Well, you don't know me and I don't know you.
No?
I'm the neighbor. There's always a neighbor at this kind of party.
I got my own personal opinions as to why there's been an expansion of our mission, which I should probably keep to myself. But what the fuck? It's a lot easier to kill these people than to capture them.
Well, it makes sense, sir. If we capture them, we have to torture them.
Sorry, sir. Well, there is the inconvenient matter of Gitmo. But it's really about the cost in blood and treasure, as those DC hypocrites who never pay in either like to say. They know that if we try to capture them instead of kill them, we risk getting killed or captured ourselves. And the public is tired of watching coffins roll down airplane conveyor belts. And the Pentagon is embarrassed by those videos on Al Jazeera where some Marine denounces America right before his head's liberated from his shoulders. So, in many minds, man, of all the bad options, we're the least bad. Don't ask me if it's a just war. That's not up to us. To us, it's just war.
America is safer. America is safer.
How's the war on terror going?
Kind of like your war on drugs.
It was here. The battlefield was here.
See your legs. Springs. Steel springs. What are they gonna do? They're gonna hurl me down the track. How fast can you run? Fast as a leopard. How fast are you gonna run? As fast as a leopard.
Only the disciplined mind can see reality, Winston.